Welcome to Kaks Bar and Podcast, Canada's first podcast bar. What that means is you can come here for food, you can come here for drinks, you can also come here and record a podcast. Come on down, we're located in downtown Calgary, Alberta in the Beltline area. See you soon. And we're rolling. I'm here today with Alana Baxter. Okay, Alana is a entrepreneur, you'd say, essentially, yeah?
I guess so, yes.
Yeah? Okay, yeah. Her company's called Fitzba. Well, actually, Alana, we were talking off air there for a second. Maybe just give a quick rundown again about Fitzba, we can take it from there.
Yeah, for sure. So Fitzba Technologies, our mission is to make local shopping as convenient as online.
Okay.
So we are combining store inventories from real local stores together in a single website and app to make it convenient for consumers to shop a single site but be shopping their own neighborhood.
But so what was the origins again, the inspiration for Fitzba and everything like that? Like, let's get to know Alana a little bit here.
Well, so I'm a co-founder, and so myself and my co-founder Kip, we started Fitzba with the endeavor to make a positive contribution to the world and to people.
Okay.
And to have fun. Those were our two baseline, this must be our purpose. And we had a lot of ideas on helping people shop for clothing better and get a better fit. There's no standard in clothing sizes, and we had a lot of ideas on how it could be done better for the end consumer, to not end up with the wrong product.
Okay.
And part of starting a startup is doing consumer research. Yeah. So we just started having conversations with shoppers, plus size shoppers, petite shoppers, men, women, different ages.
Okay. I'm starting to see what you mean by not fit properly kind of thing, because you just have small, medium, large, or whatever, and then, but there's a plethora of body types and everything like that.
Yeah, if I was to introduce you to a new brand, what size would you be?
Yeah.
Do you know, or
I would assume medium or whatever is snug. Yeah.
And it's not always the same, right?
Yeah, that's true. It really isn't.
So that was a problem that really inspired us, and that got us having these conversations. And what happened was, as we had hundreds of these conversations, we found a common thread that we didn't expect to find, and that's that everybody's loving online for the convenience factor, but everyone has a distrust of the online. Who am I actually buying from? Is it really authentic? Where is it coming from?
Man, I can totally relate.
Right?
I bought this coat off Instagram, and then it looked like what I thought it would be, and then by the time I got it, it shrunk right away. It fell apart right away. The shop I bought it from actually wasn't even there anymore.
Disappeared.
And so I get exactly what you're saying actually with that. But carry on.
So after hundreds of these conversations, the problem changed, and we realized that the world needs another marketplace that is a marketplace for local shopping that's connected to real stores, that you know who owns them, you know their store hours, and let's make it really easy to shop those stores. Yeah. So Fitzba.com and the Fitzba app were born. Yeah. And we are combining store inventories from real stores all together.
And right now you're based out of Cochrane. Essentially this is for the Cochrane area for now, right?
It's not intended for a single area, but we are running a pilot in the town of Cochrane right now. Okay. And so we've focused solely on that region, that regional market as a proof of concept.
Okay, perfect. So how long has Fitzba been around then? It's very new too?
Very new.
What are we talking?
This summer.
Okay, yeah. Hey, you're basically the same amount of time we have been. Yeah, we basically launched in June. So
hey, that's true.
Yeah. So a couple of startups here and getting after it. Was this something you always wanted to do? What'd you do before, Alana?
My background, my education is computer engineering.
Okay.
And so I was a coder turned product manager. And in the last few years, I have been working in the wholesale sales trade as an independent rep working with retailers.
Okay.
So I learned the problems of that industry a lot in the last few years, partnering with my husband's company for a few years.
Okay, I can kind of see how this naturally progressed to Fitzba then, because you kind of got the other view of how these things, how this retail part works, and you have a computer background. You're like, I can make a better app, and and basically with things that with fashion, I take it is what you're into anyway, right?
Yes, and yes, you're right. It was like my sort of, engineering background coming into like realizing that there's a true problem of a lot of independent stores are finding that the brands that they've supported for years are selling direct to the consumers through their own websites.
Yeah.
And that is really convenient for the consumer, but if we keep making those choices, those independent retailers are going to go away. And I personally don't want to live in a world where the only stores I can walk into are big box stores where the buying decisions were made by somebody in an office far away from where I live. And
I get what you're saying. Like you don't want everyone to just be buying from like the mega is it called conglomerates or whatever, or like the top dogs, and then everyone's now just wearing only what they present, and then they basically shape fashion indirectly, and then we all basically look the same, like some kind of
we're all just copycats of
like some kind of
the same. We were all wearing the same t-shirt.
So it makes sense, because small businesses is where all the creativity comes from, essentially. So you want to support essentially small businesses and local brands, essentially.
Absolutely. And they provide at no extra cost, because what we as consumers don't always realize is the retail price is already set regardless of where you're buying it from. So you can buy it from a local store, and now you've got a person that's on your side if you've got a problem with it falling apart. If you need some advice on which one is better for you, because we all have our unique experiences that we bring to something, and it's nice to have somebody to help us fit a ski boot or pick the right jacket, because they know that we're going out in the wilderness in Alberta. And so there's place for subject matter expertise in stores beyond like reviews.
Right. So how does Fitzba exactly like just
how does it work?
How does it work basically, right? Like can you just dive more into that? Because I get the gist of what you're saying, but at the same time, like, what do you mean by you guys help them pick out boots from the app versus
absolutely.
Fill me in.
So essentially, you can go on Fitzba.com or the Fitzba app, and if you're looking for a red t-shirt, you can put in a red t-shirt, and it will come up with all the red t-shirts that are in stores nearby.
Okay.
If you're not sure what you're looking for, you can browse the local stores from closest to furthest. And so we're brand new. We're obviously launching new features as we go. So today, what a consumer can expect to see is basically like a catalog that you can look through and search and filter for whatever you're looking for within the town of Cochrane today. We'll be coming to Calgary soon, though,
Awesome.
And expanding to more towns and cities.
So it does have like an element of like a mini Amazon just for local in a way. Like maybe it might be too basic of a description.
It is very similar. It's kind of like the Amazon for local shopping.
Right.
Today we are showing you what's in the stores, and the consumer can go into the store to complete the purchase. In the future, we will offer online checkout and delivery with some of the partners, but not every store is ready to
do that. Yeah.
to do that. Yeah, exactly.
Okay.
So we are being really inclusive with like different levels of technology sophistication.
So what's some of the stores right now in Cochrane? Like, is it more like shoe stores, like a jackets, like a small, like a jacket store, jewelry store? Like what are we which ones have kind of jumped on board the Fitzba situation right now?
So we decided not to target a specific type of store, but that we would, if you're in the town of Cochrane for this pilot, we're taking everything and just seeing what happens.
Okay.
It's a little bit of a dog's breakfast. We've got car dealerships.
Okay.
And we've got cosmetics boutiques.
Okay. Yeah.
Pet stores,
Uh-huh.
hardware stores. Really, we have everything.
Okay. Man, I know of someone like, because there's during Stampede we have a regular here, but her I don't know if it's an aunt, but like she literally makes cowboy clothes out of her house during Stampede time, right?
Yeah.
And I'm like literally thinking like this would totally fit into like a Fitzba, like because no one's gonna know to look for her stuff on Amazon. But because she just promotes through basic social media posts and stuff, right?
Yeah.
But combining with someone like Fitzba, I mean, yeah, like I can totally see. Yeah, like that's another option to help. It's a mutual win-win, right? Like you get another client and then they get more a chance to sell their product, not being able to be seen compared to like the big dogs, right?
Yeah. So today, to start, we are partnering with if you have an actual store with store hours.
Right.
However, we've had a lot of interest from home-based businesses, people who make homemade amazing goods.
Mm-hmm.
And so we're talking to some of our retail partners about how they could potentially host local artisans to showcase their products on Fitzba and in the store, so that we can kind of kill those two birds with one stone. So something that we're looking at doing, and the difficulty with home-based businesses is just the fact that there's a different level of experience for the consumer, and you have to like make a meetup or go to somebody's house.
Right.
They're still it's not going where we're starting, but we really would like to include the home-based businesses.
Okay, I see what you're saying. Because the home-based business, you are still going in kind of blind because there's no brick and mortar place to go unless you're going right into their house or whatever. Which I think home-based businesses, that was probably how they would do it anyway, right? You probably have
they ship to the or they'll do a local delivery. Right. So they're figuring out ways for sure.
Right.
It's hard to make sure that the experience will be a positive one, and so for that we're just starting with real stores, bricks and mortar stores as they call them. Okay.
Perfect. But we were also talking off air here. You were discussing potentially getting into a podcast with your business, right? Or what was the idea with that?
Thanks
again?
For asking about that.
Yeah.
We are considering telling our story about doing a startup.
Yeah.
Most entrepreneurs share their story after they're successful.
Yeah.
And that is also really beneficial. As a first-time CEO, I've really benefited from listening to successful entrepreneurs and their stories. But I would love to have a bird's eye view of conversations and thoughts from somebody doing it for the first time as it's going on, when there's still uncertainty as to what's going to happen next.
Yeah.
So
you're basically describing us. We've been only open 5 months. I mean, I've been podcasting a year, but only the last 5 months of the episode's been done like this. Before it was just me doing it out of my buddy's garage, my business partner's garage. And when you compare the podcast at the start till now, it's definitely grown. And
cool.
So it's not like you're right. It's not like I'm just podcasting like 10 years from now about this. I'm like in real time. You're seeing the progression of the bar. You're seeing the progression of our business, our show, the events, the guests, and everything like that. So but carry on.
Really
like
cool.
Yeah, it's this, but the podcast right now, are you guys like, what's the plan? You guys want to rent our studio, or
Well, that's maybe the plan.
Yeah, okay, sweet.
No, this is a great space. I think it could really work well for
Yeah,
us, and
sweet.
So yeah, we definitely want to talk to you about
Yeah,
that.
and like no pressure, like the thing too is, like this room, it's great for people to just get their get the ball rolling too, right? You know what I mean? And then they can ultimately shoot out of a different location or whatever. Like that's fine too, like it's obviously, we do rent this room out and everything. But yeah, we've already helped a bunch of other podcasters kind of start. So yeah, you're not alone there, and it's I definitely, obviously, am biased. I definitely highly recommend use this this fully equipped awesome space.
It is a really cool space. I'm really impressed with your story,
Oh,
what you've done, and
yeah, me and my business partner. But yeah, he's not around right now. Cass, shout out. Anyway, but right now, so I'm a little bit curious. Your show, like, how would the structure be? Would you just bring in retail owners and coming in, and that's kind of like the general feel of the show, kind of thing?
We don't know yet.
Yeah.
Any suggestions on the types of formats that work the best? And then...
There's no right or wrong way to do a podcast. At the end of the day, people think a podcast is some kind of new reality show or interview. Like, it's not. A podcast is a conversation. That's why people gravitated to it in the first place. Just what I just feel like the ones I listen to come off very authentic, natural. It feels like you're literally in someone's living room and he's having like a conversation with his buddy, and then you get to be the fly on the wall, right? Like, yeah, that's the way I find I like doing podcasts. That's why when people overthink the process of like, maybe I need a script or whatever, I'm like, well, that now you're going to like an actual interview or show. Which, but again, if that's the way you want to do it, there's no wrong way. Like, there's literally no wrong way. Yeah. Everyone can do it however. Everyone can edit their videos however. It's just the most awesome thing, I think. Like, because when else in history have people been capturing conversations like so authentically? Before every show you watch, it's like, hi Alana, I'm Shawn, how are you? You're like, no, like now we're just we're just shooting the shit, you know. Exactly. And also we have a bar here, and I notice when people have a couple of drinks, it's the perfect way to talk.
I'm sure.
Yeah. Not overdoing it, not underdoing it.
Totally.
Yeah, I definitely recommend having a little glass of wine or beer or whatever. If you even drink.
Totally. No, I do. It's noon, so I'm having water, but
yeah. This filmed in noon, and also it's our Halloween party tonight. That's why there's some pumpkins.
Good Halloween decorations.
Yeah. Sorry, I was going to be. I was a little curious. Like, your suit's pretty awesome. Like, what's going on with like how did that come about here?
This is an old suit. It's been in my closet for a long time, and I looked at your videos on YouTube, and I looked at the space, and I just thought, oh, red would look good there. So I thought, well, you know what? Why not give people another reason to at least click and listen for a few seconds and give us a shot? So
sweet. I love it. Had I known, I would have worn my bright red suit.
I know. I should have said.
I don't own a bright red suit.
But so just
so right now, that podcast right now, how soon do you guys think you'll want to launch that then?
I think we could probably launch pretty quickly and just feel it out.
Yeah.
You were asking what we would do for content. I think just telling stories, like telling the story about me and why I did this in the first place.
Let's dive into that a bit right now. Like, why did you do this in the first place here? I mean, you kind of said a bit of discovering you kind of had a knack heading that direction, but like, dive into that.
I have always loved product development and always been entrepreneurial, like had an entrepreneurial spirit, I guess you would say. 2 years ago, like just after COVID happened, my husband was diagnosed with cancer.
Ooh.
Yeah, so that was really pretty much the scariest thing that you can ever imagine.
Yeah.
You're faced with the C word. And
yeah, everyone knows someone. Yeah, I had an
it
aunt.
doesn't
Yeah,
discriminate
yeah.
by age or
No.
race or anything.
If you don't mind me asking, what kind of cancer did he get?
So it was in his throat.
Uh-huh.
It's not a very nice sounding one. Squamous cell carcinoma is the type of cancer,
Okay.
and he found a lump on his neck, and that's how it was diagnosed. But then they had to find the source of it, which was in his throat.
Uh-huh.
And so that was really scary. And we went through treatment. Spoiler alert, which
Yeah.
is good.
Yeah.
He's okay.
Okay.
He's recovered.
Okay,
He made
sweet.
it through treatment.
Okay.
They treat that particular cancer with chemo and radiation,
Mm-hmm.
and it's very intense. And
Yeah.
and so
Okay. Well,
coming
congrats, you
out
made
of-
it through.
yeah. So that, like, we're so lucky that he made it through and he's healthy today. And on the other side of that, we had a conversation, and I said, do you think, you've changed from the cancer?
Yeah.
And he was like, no, not really.
Okay.
And I said, oh, because, like, I have changed so much.
Mhm.
It really just reinforced, in addition to the pandemic, it reinforced how short life is.
Yeah.
And how I just did, like, the scariest thing, facing losing my partner. So starting a business
Doesn't
isn't
seem
so
as scary.
scary anymore. And so I did all kinds of scary things that I would have never done before. I started a business. I entered water ski competitions.
You weren't doing any of this before?
I
Like,
was,
well, not the business part,
I was
but
water skiing, but
Yeah.
I wasn't competitive. So that was one thing.
It
And
gave you a new lease on life, really.
it did.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah. Stop wasting your time.
Yeah.
Stop waiting for.
Do you feel like you were, like, prior to this? Where were you born, first of all? Were you from Calgary or?
No, I was born in Ottawa, but I grew up most of my life in Halifax.
Oh, okay.
So East Coast.
East Coast. Okay, nice. I was in Ottawa 2 weeks ago, actually.
Oh,
Yeah,
really?
never
It's a
been.
beautiful city.
Yeah, it's definitely a lot of history there for sure.
Did you go to the Parliament buildings?
I did, yes. I don't want to talk politics here. No, but
they're just amazing. They're
yeah.
amazing buildings.
Oh, yeah.
And
Well, I was in Brockville and Smith Falls as well, those towns nearby. I was meeting my fiance's family, and that section of the country I've never stayed in there. Like, it's always just in passing. So there was a lot of history, a lot of World War I kind of like preserved, like, little stations and stuff like that too. I was yeah, definitely, you can feel the history in the air,
Yeah.
Okay, but when did you come to Calgary then?
I came to Calgary in 2001.
2000. Oh, okay, yeah. So you've been in Calgary a long
I've
time.
been into Calgary a long time.
Yeah. Okay.
I moved to Calgary with my almost 2-year-old daughter and husband in 2001, now ex-husband.
Okay.
And
It was a good move.
it was a good move.
Yeah.
I came to go to
Well, you
school.
definitely stayed here, so.
And I ended up staying.
Nice. That's awesome.
Yeah.
Prior to your husband now's cancer diagnosis, like, did you feel like you weren't, like, living your life to the fullest in a way?
I would tell you that I'm maybe not I am a risk averse person.
Risk adverse. That means
I don't like to take risks necessarily.
Yeah.
And so, yeah, I think I was just comfortable.
Uh-huh.
I was happy.
Yeah.
But I wasn't pushing myself in certain areas. I was maybe holding myself back.
Right.
And maybe in the back of my mind, I was waiting for somebody to give me permission or tell me that I was ready, and I realized that
person's you.
Person's me.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. Do you feel like, man, I lost a lot of time now, like, like, in a way, because of, like, the perspective that your what's that, epiphany, it came basically 3 years ago now, right?
Yeah.
Do you feel almost like, okay, I'm in a rush, like, I got this massive list of, like, things I have to get done now, like
No, I don't.
Okay, that's good.
Yeah, I feel like I feel like everything I've done leading up to that really was baby steps leading up to that. But it definitely was like it was the TSN turning point.
Yeah, sweet. Yeah, great reference there. I don't know. In a way, I kind of can relate to you. I definitely feel like I definitely been doing what I want to do with my life anyway. But for sure, for me, it was a crappy job that like gave me that man, like I'm running out of time here. Well, not you just said you don't feel like you're running out of time. I definitely kind of felt like it. I was like, because I was just doing basic math. Like I'm in my 30s. If I'm dead by 70, there's only 40 years left, and 10 of it you're super old. So really, there's only 30 years left. And then I'm like I better get going on all my goals and stuff because there's really not much time. But I feel like I have been trying to go for my goals, but definitely for me, because I used to work for an oil company, and like although I got a degree and I have a surface land certification as well, and I was in this oil company doing like admin surface land work. But anyway, I hated every second of it, man. It just wasn't my cup of tea. But I was comfortable too, and I remember enjoying the money, but something just clicked inside. I'm like, it's now or never. So like I got out of that. I went back working in the bars, and then I started this idea. Like this idea was festering in my head for like maybe 5 years, 6 years ago.
Oh wow!
And then,
so you left your
oil and gas job. Oh yeah,
and
straight.
Just started doing this.
I had there was a bit of a I quit, and then I traveled for a year. Didn't work. Just I had a bunch of decent amount of money saved, and then during that period, I had a lot of fun traveling again. But in my brain, I was like, I kind of was picturing this already because I love podcasts, and like I listen to podcasts nonstop. I was one of Joe Rogan's original 1,000 listeners when he first streamed his very first podcast out of his living room in YouTube in 2009. I remember seeing the little counter there. It said like 1,000 like streamers, and I'm like thinking in the whole world I'm one of.
And that was 2009.
Yeah, and Rogan just kept doing it, and I remember just loving his podcast because he would have like celebrities that you didn't even realize he was friends with, and they were just talking like this. Like all of a sudden you saw Anthony Bourdain on his show, like literally having a beer. It was so off the cuff. And then I was like, hey, there's something to this. And I also personally am a very chatty guy. So, and then all my years bartending, I remember I'd be doing this. I'd be doing this like behind the bar anyway. Like say you sat at the bar. Yeah, I didn't really have to train for this, but yeah, like say Alana, you just were sat at the bar and you order a drink and I served it to you. And then next we're just chatting. Like this is how most people talk and get their cool life stories out anyway. So I just have this plethora of people's life stories, and then I'm like, I have to turn this into a living like somehow. But I felt that I definitely felt the time crunch, and then that's why I was very sudden that I like went after everything.
Did you have anything that happened to you that instigated that?
No, I'm trauma free. I have a job. I'm lucky enough to say I'm trauma free. I have a great life. Not everyone I know has that, but I'm the right guy for the job too. I noticed because I do have I feel like I have this energy where people can warm up to me because I genuinely am just curious about people. But no, there was no. It was just realizing, wow, 8 hours a day I'm doing this thing. 40 hours a week I'm doing this thing. 52 weeks out of the year I'm doing this thing, which is in front of the computer, like doing this like surface land contract stuff. And I'm like, I'm not into this. Time's running out. I'm tired by the end of the day from doing this. And it's like you got it as you kind of tested up, like I was my own voice in my head, like you have to do this now. You don't need permission. Just you're just the only one not doing it. No one's gonna do it for you. So yeah, but it was a lot of work. I mean, I do understand people who don't want to take risks as well, because it's not even close to all rainbows and butterflies. Like I'm sure you have loads of challenges like behind the scenes.
Yeah, that whole number 2 is like it's got to be fun. It's not always fun.
No. To be honest, a lot of times it's not fun at all. but it will pay off, I guess, because the alternative is wondering about this for like the rest of your life or whatever. Yeah. But
it's worth pursuing regardless of what the outcome is.
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm. So I'm a little curious here. Maybe I'm getting too personal here, but your husband, what do you mean he doesn't have a new perspective on things? Like he just basically survived
I know.
death.
I know. I feel like that too.
Or maybe he's loved his life up to this point. Doesn't
he is? he's a very positive person. He's
Yeah.
also skirted. He's had a few run-ins with death a few times.
Go
Yeah,
on.
I know. At 18, he was in a really bad ski crash,
Yeah.
and he ended up in a fat. He had a fat emboli, which is a basically like a clot or a bubble that is like going through your system.
Yeah.
And anyway, they had to put him in some kind of a pressurized like bubble, and only 15% of people survive,
Oh,
and he
wow.
survived.
Oh, geez.
um, and but his leg was like all broken up, and anyway, so like
That was at 18?
That was at 18.
Okay.
He a number of years ago, skiing again.
Is he like a pro skier or something? Or
He's not, but he reps for Head Skis, the brand.
okay.
So he sells Head to ski shops.
Oh, okay.
So he is very connected to the sport,
Okay.
obviously.
And he loves skiing, obviously.
And he loves skiing.
Okay.
I love skiing.
Okay.
But he was buried in a tree hole in the backcountry a number of years ago. This was before we met or re-met. And he basically took a mouthful of snow and couldn't move, and
Jeez.
got dug out by his buddies.
Uh-huh.
But again, yeah.
Is his spirit animal a cat? He has like 9 lives or something. Like, okay. So maybe he just is like, I've been through worse, so I'll just get through this or whatever. Like,
and I think he feels already changed by those earlier run-ins with death, that he just doesn't take. I would say his main perspective is he really doesn't take life for granted, and he never did.
Yeah.
So maybe he didn't need cancer to like wake him up in that way.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, so that's good then. I mean, it's not like, but is he? Was he like? Let me rephrase this. You're still the same person to him, though, right? Or are you like just completely like man, like I'm gonna do like I don't even spend time with you anymore. I'm just doing 1,000 different things. Like,
it's not like I've changed and he hasn't, and we don't. It doesn't work anymore.
Yeah.
But just for me, it woke something up in me that made me realize just start.
Yeah. Just do.
There's
just
never
go.
going to be the perfect moment.
No.
Just get started.
Yeah, what is your actually you got me my brain going now, that it's never a perfect moment. I tried forcing the start of this business like almost a year earlier than when it actually happened. Mm-hmm. And weird things kept coming in the way that I just couldn't quite put my finger on. Like it'd be the oddest thing, like all of a sudden, I don't know, like the banker we were using specifically, like he just went MIA for a few months, and to this day, I still don't know what happened to him during that period. And, I didn't pry because it seems like it might have been personal. But that weird delay caused us to end up meeting another like contractor that was a better fit. You know what I mean? Like, and then because so then I kept thinking like now there's never a good time. Like it literally felt like the universe was making me wait. Like, hey, I know you want this now, but the timing will be better for you if you hold here. And it was weird but I'm stubborn, so I just kept I can control a lot. So then I just kept hammering at, like, for instance, I was trying to get another location for this bar, and I just was harassing that landlord, like just trying to meet their demands. Like, your business concept needs to be like this in order to be in the bar. I'm in this spot. And then in my head, I'm like, hey, how do I swerve it so I get the spot and then still use my original concept? And then, kept getting shut down. But then finally I found this spot, and it was right here in front of my face the whole time. So sometimes I'm not quite sure. We say timing, there's no right time to start. I don't know, that one I got to play with, because I just noticed certain things line up when I kind of relinquish control, if you will. You
are so right. And there's like a balance though of, if you don't start, nothing happens.
Yeah.
But there is like a strange timing to things, and sometimes there's like speed bumps that I know sometimes I take a step back too and think, maybe we just have to roll with this
Yeah.
cause, because
It's hard though, because there's no like right signal, if you will. It's not like there was this clear sign from God coming down, like you're supposed to start 1 year from now on this date. So you kind of have to fumble around with it and try not to get discouraged, because that's the main thing. Because there was a few times where I was like, maybe this is just meant to be, and but then the weirdest thing would happen. Like, you would just bump into someone and then have this crazy conversation. Turns out that guy's like a business mentor or something. And then next, it's like, oh, now you're back. So I don't know. Like, are you spiritual at all, or yeah?
I am. Yeah.
Religious or spiritual? I don't even know anymore.
I probably more spiritual than religious.
Yeah.
But yeah, I believe that there's certain things that are obviously in our control, but there's also there's some vibes around that. I don't know, things seem to always fall into place at the right time.
Right.
And yeah, I believe in that. Definitely.
Yeah. I have a big mushroom here because of doing some psychedelics, and I definitely, I just, that whole thing is, it kind of hurts me sometimes, because when I think about so many people around the world who are having like horrible times right now, like the wars and stuff, I'm like, so that was their destiny all along, you know what I mean, to be in there, like that's where I have trouble with this, with these concepts, because I've seen it work in my life, but it seems to keep working out, and sometimes I get guilt from it, because I'm like, it can't always work out like this, like but it happens to be so that's one I do struggle with, because like I do have friends that what I'm trying to say is, like, they're like, they got inspired by what we're doing. They're like, I want to take a risk now and do something. And then I'm sitting here thinking in my head, what they said was, I don't know, like, again, I've had people doubt us. But what they said they want to do, I really can't picture it. You know what I mean? So then I'm like, I don't want to tell them to do it because I think they'll fail. But I also don't want them to tell not to try, because they need to try. But then I'm also like, but then there's destiny. Maybe if they're meant to do this, then. So I just kind of like relax, and I just kind of let the words come out of my mouth. I treat it like, hey, this is the universe going through me to tell so and so whatever it is, the right thing to tell them to do. And it usually was something positive, like, hey, go for it. Just know there's a lot of road bumps. That's what I just kept it like vague like that. But I don't have a particular angle I'm going with this. I just know that, like, you're an entrepreneur, I'm an entrepreneur. Like, it's risky, man.
Yeah.
It's like, like, I don't.
It sounds like there's been a lot of like things that we've had in common too, that struggles and timing things.
That's no one. I just know no one's success is this happy, smooth ride. I know that for a fact now. Like, can you list off a single successful person? Then when you dive into their bio, it's not just this crazy, background of obstacles and hills to climb and everything like that. So I don't expect things to be easy, but at the same time, I do struggle with that. Like, there's no time but now kind of thing, because sometimes, like, maybe some people are supposed to just not take risks and just let like, I don't know.
I think not all people can. We can't all be taking risks, or not all at the same time.
Yeah.
The way that I get around the whole, like, how is it
existential crisis
on one path, and I'm so lucky to live the life that I do, and have the opportunities that we're so lucky to live in Canada. We hit the jackpot. And I think Earth is like kind of like a school, and we come here to learn something. And the last life, I maybe didn't live in Canada, and maybe I had a harder life, and maybe I learned something different on that particular journey. But I kind of think of them as just journeys that present.
Do you believe in, like, reincarnation?
Loosely, yes, I think I do. I don't know. But yes.
Yeah, that's what I love about podcasts. The conversations are organic and they just kind of,
Go
down a rabbit trail. Yeah. But it's still it's all relevant. It's like understanding. Like had I not asked, we wouldn't know that your husband had cancer, and then this is what sparked like your entrepreneurial time now.
Yeah.
But then at the same time, my brain always is like just wondering again what I talked about. I'm like, why now though? Like, because think about it. Like you just said, you probably could have tried this maybe way before, right? In theory,
I have had numerous ideas for years and never acted on them. I don't know why now, but
yeah. But it's now.
But it's now. Yeah.
So right now, what's the next steps then with Fitzba right now? Do you what's the daily grind like right now? Is it just keep on building this app, keep adding to it, keep finding new vendors, kind of thing? Like what's a day in the working? Like what's your hours like, kind of for your?
Wow. Well, right now I wear so many different hats. No 2 days are the same right now. For our team, it's fixing bugs. It's really challenging to bring all these items in from different stores and have different levels of descriptions, and so we are bringing all this data into our database and tagging it and making it so that we can search through it, and it's not a perfect process. It goes with some challenges. So that's been a big push for us, is just improving our algorithm. We want to be really pure to the consumer and give them like a really great tool. And the next thing for me is to raise money.
Okay.
Yeah. So that's going to be next steps.
Like just finding maybe investors to jump on board, kind of thing, and okay, sweet, very good.
That'll be a big focus on my part, and I guess the third part of the pie is marketing and getting the word out about what we're doing and why we're doing it, and the proof will really be in having consumers using it as a tool.
Right.
We want to be the first or second place that you look to shop for something.
Okay. And then simultaneously begin your podcasting your journey of the business, as well as just podcasting in general and chatting with people and everything like that.
Yeah. We figure that it's probably a value to like just the startup community to tell this story. So I think it will be fun. And the other side of it is it potentially will build some brand awareness for what we're doing with Fitzba.com, and that's not a bad thing either.
Okay. Right now, so like I always get curious about this, like your day, like example, take me through a day. Like, are you kind of like 4 a.m. you're up, I got 1,000 things to do, boom, 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 you start going, or then you don't go to bed till 10, or like, I'm always curious how each entrepreneur kind of uses their time, if you will,
Well, like I said,
do you get sleep?
I do get sleep.
That's nice.
I do not wake
That's
up
really
at 4.
nice.
I wake up in the middle of the night sometimes, just thinking with like a heavy brain of filled with thoughts. But I usually get up around 6:30. Have a coffee, do a workout.
Do you go to a gym or just a home workout?
No, I do a home workout.
Okay, sweet.
It's really just the only way I can fit it in and get it over with bright and early.
A little curious, what do you do? Cardio, weights, or I'm big into working out and stuff, so I'm always curious what people do.
I do a mix of all kinds of different stuff. I used to do CrossFit, and so I have like Olympic weights in my basement. But I've been doing a bar program on a video series right now, and it's with like 2.5 pound weights, and it's kicking my butt.
What do you mean by bar program?
Bar is like
a weight bar.
No, it's like it's based on ballet.
Okay.
like the bar that they stand at the mirror.
Yeah.
That's the bar. It's BARRE.
Oh, okay.
Bar. It's French for bar.
Okay. So you have a bar set in your house?
No, I just use a chair.
Okay.
But I'm
Okay.
following along this video, and I just get bored, so I do different things.
Okay.
I'll
Okay.
go through phases where, I'm lifting a little bit heavier, or
Did you used to just be jacked during CrossFit?
I was getting a little bit like broad through the shoulders in CrossFit.
Yeah.
So I sort of toned it down in terms of like the heavier load.
You're like, man, I'm too awesome right now. I better dial this down. Okay.
That was completely vanity and like not like functional.
Yeah.
There was a lot of like neat stuff that you can do in terms of like gymnastics moves and stuff.
Yeah.
When you're fit like that. I also, the end of me going to CrossFit was actually John going into treatment because it was COVID and I couldn't risk the like exposure. So I really haven't done that since then. I've been working out from home.
Okay. But carrying on, so you get around 6, you said?
So,
yeah, 6. It goes coffee, and then gym right
6,
away.
Coffee.
Workouts an hour-ish, 40 minutes.
Workouts, half an hour to 45 minutes usually.
Sweet.
Pretty short, sweet. And then
it's to the office? Or?
Then it's to the office. I have a home office. And my day is either in the office, like making calls, answering emails.
The admin stuff.
There is a lot of admin stuff. And now we have a team of developers that works at Fitzba. And so just managing and making sure that they are busy and working on the highest priority stuff, and then all the admin stuff. I feel like I'm mostly a secretary.
Okay. For yourself.
Sometimes for myself.
Yeah,
but yeah, it's a lot of admin stuff. And then the other thing I do quite regularly is walk around and talk to store owners and tell them about Fitzba. And
would that happen more or less? So again, like I'm just doing a little timeline here. It's like 6, boom, get up, coffee, gym, get ready, office-ish, 9 a.m. to noon kind of range.
Honestly, there's not a set. It really depends on what meetings I have throughout the day. A big part of it just has to do with like when I've got meetings and when it makes the most sense to this or that. Okay.
And so basically the rest of the day is just kind of depending on what you got to do. Then just if you're out meeting store owners or you're just talking on the phone or just on the computer. Okay. Yeah. And then do you kind of stop working around 5 and you're like, hey, evening time now, like, or do you kind of work around the clock right till you go to bed?
No, I have a hard stop around 6 o'clock, have dinner. Then I do look at email, and I'm guilty of like going back to work kind of after dinner for a little bit, especially on weeknights.
Yeah.
But that's just the way it goes right now.
Yeah. You have a employee, Aaron, because Aaron put me in touch with you, and Aaron will be hopping on the podcast pretty soon here.
He's an interesting guy.
Yeah. Great referral there, Aaron. But what does Aaron again do for Fitzba here?
So Aaron is the marketing manager.
Okay.
And so just looking for ways to increase our brand exposure.
Okay.
Including finding this Kaks Bar and Podcast.
Yeah. Hey, you got the name right. We have a comedy night here on Thursdays. One of the stand-up comedians kept calling it like Kaks Sports Bar and Podcast, or like, but he was obviously doing it intentionally. Yeah.
So that's why you have so many comedy.
Just indirectly, because we do Tuesdays. We do trivia at night, 7 to 9. It's free to play, by the way. So we have a trivia crowd that likes to come in, and Thursdays we join the comedy scene. So. It's called Laughs at Kaks Comedy Show. It's every Thursday here, 7 p.m. Doors open, 8 p.m. the show starts. Only goes till 9:30. It's a quick hour and a half, bang bang. And but there's actual comedians like touring headliners and So I've been kind of I do love comedy as well. So I've been diving into a lot of comedy based podcasts and things like that. And after every podcast show, we also do a post comedy night podcast. I grab a couple comedians in here and they shoot the breeze. So yeah, if you like,
I saw that you had a whole bunch of like sort of comedy type
yeah,
things.
yeah,
I
that's like
didn't
a
realize
series.
that
Yeah,
it was because
yeah,
you have the Tuesday night comedy.
yeah.
Thursday?
Thursday, yeah. So no, you guys should definitely come down. It's a great time.
Yeah.
And then Sundays we do board game days here. So the whole bar, everyone just brings in board games. From nerds bring in literally Warhammer and they're playing in the corner to someone's playing Monopoly. And
That's awesome.
yeah. And then and then we also have live music on Flames home games here at Kaks Bar and Podcast, which is super close to the Saddle Dome. Sorry, I'm just completely plugging my bar.
I love it. No, it's really good to know, actually.
Hey, I'm gonna wind this down and end on this though. But where's the name Fitzba come from? Like what's that name? Like how'd you come up with that name?
Well, it came from the ideas of improving clothing fit. So that's where the fit came from.
Okay.
And the ZBA, the ZBA or ZBA, depending on what country you're in, I don't know. It just it was. I like it. I think it sounds kind of magical.
Yeah.
But really, it's just really hard to find a short URL that's not already reserved.
Yeah.
And Fitzba somehow ended up being the name.
Sweet. Well, it has a ring to it. I like it. Alana, it was great talking to you today. And I'm gonna be meeting Aaron pretty soon here and having a podcast with him as well. There.
Awesome.
Yeah, and obviously I wish you all the best, and obviously I hope you use our studio to
Thanks, Shawn.
Launch your podcast there, and also jump back on the show and like let's keep let's fellow entrepreneurs. Let's just keep seeing how each other's journey's going and tune into each other from time to time.
That would be great.
Okay, perfect. All the Fitzba stuff will be in the show notes. Do you guys have an Instagram page and all that as well?
Oh yeah, we do.
Okay.
We are the Fitzba on Instagram.
Okay, Fitzba. Okay, I'll have that all in the show notes there, so everyone can get the app and everything like that. Okay.
That'd be great.
All
Thanks.
right. Awesome. Okay. All right. Have a good one, everyone. Okay. Bye.
Thanks.